Hello and welcome to part 4 in this video series about my journey into coaching. I am Sarah Wagner, an intuitive success coach, and I support other female entrepreneurs in their journey to create the spiritual and energetic foundation that their business is craving so that they can enjoy that ease and flow and grace in their business that they totally know is possible. So if you haven't seen the first 3 parts to this series, go ahead and check them out. They're all available here on YouTube. Today, what I would like to share with you is kind of the final part of my journey that leads us to today, right? I guess it's not really final, but leads us to where I am today. In the last video, I spoke with you about how I started working with an intuitive coach and how she really opened me up to a lot of the gifts that I have and I share today in my coaching practice. And what I want to share with you today, I was trying to think, what do I really want to share here? And I was thinking, I could list off all the great things that are happening in my life, and I could list off the way all these different relationships in my life have shifted. But it felt like bragging. And I don't mean to be bragging. I don't mean to be sitting here bragging. But the transformation has been very magical and powerful. What I decided that I really want to share with you is one huge belief that I shifted, one huge mindset block, so to speak. And that was my belief that I had to be the person other people expected me to be in order to be loved and accepted and valued. Yeah, so let that one sink in, especially if you're feeling like you're there too, or if you can remember a time when you were there. Because that's really powerful, because basically what that belief says is that if I show up as who I really am, who I feel on the inside that is just bursting at the seams to come out, the people that I know and love and care for will abandon me, and I'll be left all alone, right? It's a powerful, powerful belief. It's a really good way to keep you stuck exactly where you are. And that's what it did for me until I discovered it. And until I had the opportunity to start working through it with a coach. And I really did. That was a big belief. I know there are some beliefs you can work through on your own, but I do believe there are some beliefs you have to work through with a coach because they're so powerful and so ingrained that the ego and the fear step in, and it's just next to impossible to work through them on your own because you think that you're starting to work through them, but it's really just a trick from the ego, and you're really staying stuck. And that's what this belief was for me. Because things kind of, as it does a lot of times when you start to shift a large belief, things just really started to kind of, I want to say blow up in my face, but really what it was my world reflecting the belief as it was and not as I wanted it to be, right? I had to get to that point. I had to transition and shift my energy to that higher vibration. So I feared that if I started sharing with everyone my intuitive gifts and just how intuitive I am, that my friends and family would think I was crazy. That they wouldn't believe me, that they would judge me. I was afraid to step out and share more about my spirituality. I had become way, way more open to possibilities, and I had created much more of a one-to-one intimate relationship with God than what I had been raised to believe through Lutheran Christianity. There's just so much had shifted. I was talking to angels now, and a lot of the people around me didn't do that. Didn't believe it. I wasn't raised in a particularly religious household, but we did go to church and do Sunday school and confirmation and that sort of stuff. So there was some going on. Can you see me vibrating? My dog is at my foot just scratching like crazy. So anyway, I was afraid that if I started sharing all of these gifts that these people would abandon me. And I had to learn how to step out of my comfort zone and start sharing who I was, because if I was going to be authentic, if I was going to be happy, I had to be who I truly was. And honestly, if I was going to be the gift to the world that I knew I came here to be, I had to be the gift I came here to be, right? Like I couldn't just be who everyone else wanted me to be, because as Wayne Dyer says, I would just die with my music still in me. And I couldn't live like that. So I started to share more and more of who I was, and I got a little bit of backlash on social media, or, backlash might be too strong of a term. I think I want to share more specifically, like people that I knew or people that my husband knew would come and say something to like my mom. I saw Sarah say such and such on social media. Or someone would come to my husband and make a joke about me or say that they saw something and it would make him uncomfortable. And then he would come back to me and be like, you can't share this because now my friends think you're crazy and blah, 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 blah. And I had to work through all of that. And thank goodness I had a coach there to support me through it, right? Because she just kept reassuring me, no, Sarah, this is who you are. This is making you happy, right? And we'd keep reconnecting to my higher self. And we'd keep connecting to my intuition. And just, yep, okay, we're on the right path. We're on the right path. It doesn't matter what the outside world is showing us right now, because right now we're on the energy part of the journey. And we're shifting the energy so that what shows up is what we want. And it's turned into a huge blessing, because now here I am today and I'm sharing about intuition, angels, guides, just about anything relating to spirituality, crystals, saging, floral essences, like all these tools that are considered like woo-woo or witchcraft, those sort of things. Gosh, what else? I'm doing human design, which is fabulous, by the way, and based in astrology. So that is something that I had to step into, right? Because a lot of people don't believe in astrology. But what I have found is that as I've shared more and more of these gifts, yes, people have fallen away. And yes, I have unfriended and blocked people on Facebook. Like all of that happens. But the relationships I deeply care about, the one with my husband, the one with my parents, the one with my children, my in-laws, like those relationships, they're deeply cultivated and they're blossoming and we're all growing together. I have found that as I've done this journey, I have become the example that some of those people required so that they could step into who they truly are, so that they could open their minds to the possibility of their desires. And that is deeply fulfilling. That is deeply fulfilling to know that I could support the people that I love in such an amazing way. And then like on top of that, I get to go out and support other female entrepreneurs, and I get to create income from that, which creates the lifestyle I desire. And it's just been a beautiful, beautiful process and blessing. And I wanted to share this with you over 4 parts because I wanted you to see and really feel into the different stages of this process and development, because I wasn't one of those coaches that was 6 figures in 6 weeks or 6 months or whatever the catchy phrase is. I wasn't. Come November, I will be in coaching for 3 years. So this process and transformation took me a while to figure out. And yes, there were technical aspects of it that we would consider more masculine energies, like learning the sales and learning the marketing, and just figuring out my messaging. But there was definitely the feminine parts of it too. And I am so grateful for the coach that opened me up to that possibility, because without that mindset, without this spiritual connection that I have, and without this enjoyment, this pleasure, this happiness that I have in my life, I couldn't create the business that I have now. I couldn't enjoy the business the way that I do. And I wanted to share all of that with you, ladies, because I want you to know that it's possible for you. And I want you to know that even if you're where I was before and you're on struggle street, or maybe you're on struggle street emotionally, not financially. Or maybe you're on struggle street financially too. Maybe you're on struggle street in your relationships with your spouse or your children. But I just want you to know that joy and happiness and balance and ease are possible and available to us all. We need to make ourselves a priority first. Make our own happiness a priority first. And everything else starts to fall into place. So much love and blessings. I'll talk to you soon.